I'll be talking about the mass rapid transit systems that are available for us to consider. And after that, the railway development part will be covered by Dr. Sridevi. Well, the quality of life in a city is governed by a couple of factors. One is the transportation system that is available, and the livelihood of people, and third is attitude of the people, the culture of the people. So transport is one of the major factor that decides the quality of life in any zone. This is a scenario in major cities. Now coming to this Kerala scenario, we have a situation where we have about 1.2 crore motor vehicles as against the population of 3.45 crores. That is, every third person in Kerala owns a motor vehicle. And among the 2/3 of them are two-wheelers. That is the major challenge that we pose. So these are these personal vehicles that come into the roads and cause congestion. So that is where I think we should try to address this one. Among these, the public transport modes like bus, boat in some places, and train, they take a share of about 33 to 35% average. 30 is for smaller towns and 35% for major cities. Whereas for a good standard city, it should be about 50%. And for best in class cities, major cities, it should be million plus cities, it should be about 75 to 80%. So we are at the bottom of the public transport share. So what we need is, if you want to have a better transportation system, we should increase this share of public transport modes to at least 50% the next 5 to 10 years, and subsequently to 60%. Then that will be an optimal share for a transportation system to survive. And the entire mobility is mainly, and it's just moving people from one place to other place in pursuit of their employment or educational needs or medical, and getting various urban services. But we spend quite a lot of money on the infrastructure, mainly to move the vehicles from one place to other place. What we need is, we need to move the people from one place to another, not the movement of vehicles. The government of India, in their urban transport policy, they have advocated that you should provide facilities and infrastructure to move the people, not for movement of vehicles. That is the baseline on which the entire transportation scenario are being reworked out. And the government spends huge amount of money on the infrastructure with the assumption that people move by motorized roads, vehicles, with the comfort they deserve. But these have already been challenged in many countries. I think we are now at this stage that we should think about our infrastructure development in that line. There are initiatives undertaken in many countries. It's a livable city or walkable city concept that's being practiced in few European cities, where the need for travel by motor vehicle is completely eliminated. So people walk. A person can easily walk about 15 to 30 minutes for that. So if the planning is made such a way that people can reach their various activities, basic needs by walk or by cycle, I think that's a good practice. One should follow it. Unfortunately, our Kerala cities are all growing in a linear way, a ribbon type development. So where the walkable city concept can be practiced only in central business areas, congested areas of some of the cities. Then next is bike sharing and ride sharing. Of course, bike sharing concept we follow among the youngsters. They share the ride. But now with the coming of Uber and Ola services, people can meet their transportation needs without owning a vehicle. I mean, wherever you want to go, you just telephone to the aggregator, taxi aggregator. They come and pick you up. They drop you back. People are now realizing that they need not own a vehicle. If you work out the economics, owning a vehicle is really a big drain on our resources. So that's why I think many of our major cities, Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore, and some of the cities where this Uber, Ola service are very active, the number of vehicle registration has come down drastically. There has been 5 to 10% reduction in some of this. Bangalore is a classic example, where people now realize that they can meet their daily needs without owning a vehicle, and cheaper also, and very convenient also. So that is the concept I think they are practicing. Whereas in Kerala, we tend to have about 10 to 15% rise in motor vehicle population. Every 6 years, the population gets doubled, motor vehicle population. Whereas our road infrastructure does not get documented to that extent. I think this is the time we should think of reversing our trend of not owning vehicles. Coming to the vision, transport vision for Kerala, I would say safe, sustainable, and speedy mobility, which allows people to travel with comfort and dignity. I think this covers all aspects of our transportation and mobility. So safe, sustainable, speedy. Sustainable environment is taken care of. Speedy, our travel time. Safe, of course. And also it should allow the people to travel with comfort and dignity. See, if you provide any transportation system covering these key lines, I think people would accept it. Now, with the technology development, in tune with the National Technology Mission, the vision is redefined as by the year 2035, the transport technology should help us to access public transport within 1 kilometer from everybody's home. So 1 kilometer of walking is acceptable. So with the technology, that should enable us to reach the nearest public transport station within a kilometer. So this is the transport vision envisaged for Kerala in the year 2035. And further, the technology should also ensure that nobody needs to travel more than 2.5 hours from their place to the district headquarters. Of course, now there are places where it takes 5 hours to reach the district headquarters, and maybe overnight for reaching the state capital. But the technology should enable us to reach within 2.5 hours to the district headquarters, 5 hours from the state capital, and 8 hours from the national capital. This is found in tune with the National Technology Mission. Of course, one might ask, how 8 hours? There are transportation available to reach Delhi within 4 hours. So I think the technology should enable us to allow people to travel to all these things. So this is the vision on which I think we should work for our infrastructure development. Now, in the earlier slide, I was talking about the promoting public transport system. There are many ways of promoting public transport. If you look at the bus availability in Kerala, it's very high compared to other states. But the utilization of the bus is low. That is why I think the majority of the public transport undertakings are the private operators. They're making losses. Because we are not making our public transport attractive to the users. So what is the way how to address this? So if you want to if you operate the bus transport, a reliable service, acceptable to the quality of service people deserve, people will tend to leave their personal vehicles and shift to the public transport. So we should attract people who are using personalized modes to public transport. So one is the providing reliable transport services. Second is, in any transportation, the first and last mile connectivity, reaching from their home to the nearest bus station or railway station. Similarly, from the destination to the final place where they want to reach. This is the major challenge. So because of that, people tend to use their personal vehicles for the whole journey. So if you think about providing first last mile connectivity by proper transport system, then people will tend to travel the entire journey by public transport. So the first and last mile connectivity to the commuters, I think that needs to be addressed. Cochin Metro is one classic example, where the metro is there. People coming from islands, they come by boats. They come to the boat jetty or Ernakulam boat jetty. From there, if they are integrated to the metro stations by proper feeder service, I think you can attract the entire lot of people. Similarly, at the end also, one should think of providing last mile connectivity. Yeah. And another thing is that we have untapped potentials in our waterways. 1,700 kilometers of waterways, of which about only 10 to 15% of them are in usable condition now. We should tap the potentials of water transport as a major mode of public transport wherever it exists. At least in Alleppey, northern parts of Kerala, Alleppey, Kottayam, these areas where water transport can play a major role. At present, water transport is serving as a feeder service to the people. It does not take the load of public transport. So currently, about only 1% of the passenger movement is taking place in water transport. I think it can be easily enhanced to 4 to 5% in the years to come. Then the public transport share currently now it stands at 35%. So by in another 7-8 years time, it should be enhanced to 50% at least. And what we need optimally for Kerala cities is it should be 60 to 65%. So 60 to 65% of the transport demand or passenger demand is to be carried by public transport, and the remaining 35-40% can be left to the private vehicles, paratransit modes, than other modes of transportation. So that's how I think we should plan it. So the fixing modal share in favor of public transport should be from 35 to 50% in the next 5 to 7 years time. Then there are other alternatives available now, and these are the newer technologies that can also be explored. Fuel cell is used. Already battery operated vehicles are in the market. Electric vehicles are in the market. Now there are gas powered vehicles, ethanol methanol based buses are there. They are cheaper to operate and environment friendly also. Then there are rapid transit systems like personal rapid transit, then metro systems, and different derivatives of metro systems are available. Then on the water transport front, we have a water taxi system, which we have not explored. We have a vast potential of waterways fit for navigation. Of course, Kochi Metro, as they brand it as a water metro, to provide connectivity from the waterfront areas to the metro stations. So the water by providing speed boats. So that sort of ideas can be explored for Kerala. Now, in any major transportation system, last mile connectivity is the major thing. Delhi Metro suffered this initially. Now they have stabilized by they provide van services to the residential areas, to the metro centers. They provide adequate parking area for people. So they've changed quite a lot during the last 5 to 10 years. Now the use of metro in Delhi has gone up very high, drastically during the last 5 years or so. So by providing this last mile connectivity, people tend to leave behind their vehicles and shift to public transport modes. And any transport system, I think land availability is the major challenge in Kerala. If you want to go for any surface-based transportation system, availability of land is a big question here. So what we should think of promoting public transport is an elevated system that do not use much of the ground space, but it can carry higher capacity load. I think that sort of system we should go for it. Cochin has already paved the way. Trivandrum, Kozhikode, there are proposals to have a light metro system, and that's mostly elevated, so it does not require any land space for development. It takes the central median space. Similarly, there are other forms of rapid transit systems available. One is called a personal rapid transit system. Again, some studies have been carried out for Trivandrum and Kozhikode. It's also elevated things. So these sort of transit systems, it does not get affected when there is a flooding, when there is any problem at the lower, because we have yearly about more than 120 days goes for Hartal and Bandh. And so these sort of things, if there is elevated system, if it passes through secretariat and elevated, people will shout behind the ground level, but overhead system will continue to function. So I think anything that is elevated, only thing the people should not go for vandalism, and so there's enough safeguards to be provided. So I would suggest any transport system that does not use much of ground space, and if it is elevated and cost effective, and that is what I think we should go for it. Whether it is a metro or light metro or personal rapid. So this is the thing, and that has got a good carrying capacity, highly demand responsive system. So if there are no demand means we should not operate it. So it should be a demand responsive. Using the ITS technologies, we can monitor all those things. So there are several options available in that category. I'll be discussing about those different rapid transit systems. A few visuals. So water bus. I think we have seen only in social media, but I think Kerala is high time that we should think of this amphibian bus which can travel in road and water, and it's like a hydrofoil service sort of thing. So ordinary bus with little modifications, we can think of operating in our backwater regions, places where there are canals. Then there are buses operated with the soya beans and different type of diesel or biologically modified biodiesel based things. That is fuel technology, fuel cell technology. So converting chemical energy into propulsion. So these are different models available around the world. Again, this is at home. This is the Karnataka biofuel powered bus in Karnataka. That's the BRT system, bus rapid transit system, which is more like a bus, but it has a reserved right of way, a segregated right of way, so that the interference from other traffic, it's isolated, and this can carry much higher load than the normal buses, and that is extensively used in many cities, New Delhi, Rajkot, many of the Gujarat cities. They have some of the cities in Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra. They have these systems. We have battery power operated vehicles. So for two-wheeler segment is one major segment which pollutes the atmosphere. Currently, transport sector is the one which pollutes our air pollution. 65% of the air pollution comes from transport sector. So that means any changes that we undertake for transport sector will have a good impact on the environment. So two-wheeler is which forms about 60%. So if we start converting all our two-wheelers from diesel or petrol to electric or battery power, I think that will have a lot of advantage for the environment. We have battery-operated cars from Riva electric to newer versions. These are three-wheeler, modified three-wheeler. There's again battery-operated systems. So different varieties technologies are available to choose. I think now the government should think of making adequate incentives for the people who buy eco-friendly vehicles, who register. There are some legal problems. Earlier, people cannot register battery-operated vehicles or electrically operated vehicles because our Motor Vehicle Act says only diesel and petrol. So that is changing now. I think that slowly Motor Vehicle Department registration rules are being modified. So we should allow other forms of fuel also. The solar, the gaseous fuels. Of course, we do use gas, our cooking gas, but there are different types of gases available cheaper. And so our registration legal things have to be addressed. And usually the bus system means it has a capacity constraint. Up to 6,000 passengers it can carry safely without causing much problem. Once it exceeds to 6,000 to 8,000, bunching of vehicle takes place. That's what we used to have in Ernakulam North, blocking everything. And here also, Srigariam onwards, the bunching of buses and all that, when the capacity of the passengers movement exceeds beyond 6,000, it takes place. So the bus system has got a capacity constraint. So any corridor which has more than 8,000 passenger capacity, then we should think of going for other alternatives. That's where the rapid transit system comes into the picture. And we have personal rapid transit system, light metro system, mass rapid. So many varieties are there to choose from. They are all advantages because they're faster and does not can decongest the cities, and it's energy efficient and eco-friendly also. And these are the different options available. If it is a road-based, from ordinary bus, we can immediately switch over to electric bus. Then there are options like hybrid buses operated on battery power. Then we have bus rapid transit system. Only thing that needs ground space for its operation. Then biodiesel fueled buses. If it is a rail, means memo services. Currently, we have limited operation of memo services in Kerala. I think we should explore more routes for that. Metro and high-speed train. And if it is elevated, we have different options like PRT, personal rapid transit. Then we have a Skytran, Skybus. These have been piloted here. but somehow due to some failures, we could not go ahead with that. That monorail and cable tram, these are some of the options available. It's a water-based means high-speed boats. Anything that improves the speed and safety, I think we should advocate for our waterways. So underground means tube systems, and which mainly uses the bullet technology. So these are different options available based on our requirements. And coming to the metro systems, of course, India has got the best metro systems. It's a technology, state-of-the-art technology is used in Delhi, Calcutta, and Bangalore. There are about half a dozen cities where it is in operation. Another 7, 8 cities where it's going to come up in the next few years. And so metro is well tried, established system. We should try to explore for our major cities. When the population increases more than 10 lakhs, or when the passenger demand on a corridor exceeds more than 10,000, 10 to 12,000 passengers per hour per direction, I think metro is best suited for our requirement. It can carry the load, it does capacity restraint, but you can always add on to carry the load up to 48,000 people per hour per direction. The light metro, which is being advocated for Trivandrum and Cochin, I don't know what is the light about it, but it is only the capacity is lesser than the normal metro, so about 10,000, 12,000 range. And that is again under consideration in 2 cities. And the same 2 cities, there is another mode which is being explored, personal rapid transit system, and there is also proposal on the same route, same corridor. There is a proposal that is under this different mode of operation, PPP mode and the Swiss challenge method they're proposing. So all these things, these are all metro-based elevated or surface as well. These are all intended to reduce the congestion and pollution level, and also they are all eco-friendly. They can carry the load for the next 20 to 30 years in Kerala cities. Coming to the different options, these are some of the visuals. Of course, BRT is well known, a monorail system. It's an elevated mode, of course. It's on a guided pathway. Then PRT, again, this is a guided pathway. This is operational in Heathrow Airport and some cities in UAE and some US cities, they are operating it. This is one system which is now going to compete with our metro in Kerala cities. Then there is a normal metro system. Coming to the light metro that is being proposed for Trivandrum, Kochi. But the capacity is, of course, we have about 12,000 passengers per hour in Trivandrum and 6,000, just half of it in Kozhikode. Is to have metro system. Whereas in Calicut, it can wait for some more time. The base year traffic by 2021 it does not support, but we can think of, or we can wait till it has adequate capacity, or we can think of some other alternative also. And 21 kilometers in Trivandrum and 13-14 kilometers in Kozhikode, these are projected, and they are all under the different stages of consideration with the government. And the advantages are mainly on land. The availability, we don't need to acquire land because it passes through at the center of the road with a single pillar teachers section. So land availability is only for stations and terminal points you need land. Other places it goes on elevated way. And it is highly efficient, high capacity and eco-friendly also. This is the route starting from Technopark, Technocity to Karmana through our national highway, existing national highway. It's about 21 kilometers. This is being considered. There are about 18 stations, and there is an interchange at passing through Pattam, interchange at Tambanur. So this is the route on which DMRC has prepared a detailed project report. And this is the route for Kozhikode, coming from Medical College, Kozhikode Medical College to Mavur, connecting bus stations, private bus stations, KSRTC, then again Mananjara bus station, the railway station, and via Kallai and Vattakanar, Meechanda. It's about 18 kilometers, 16 kilometers. It's one of the major arterial corridor where there is a lot of, but somehow the traffic demand does not justify for a metro in Kozhikode in the immediate future. Maybe another 10 years or so we may have to wait. And so the present status is the reports were prepared long ago, so that is being revised on line with the metro rail policy of Government of India and submitted to the government. And government is considering, there is a committee already headed by the finance secretary, and they are examining the proposals. Once it is accepted, then the cabinet will have to take a call on it, and it will go to Government of India for further principal approval. Already the preliminary works are started for widening junctions and few places where flyovers are needed. So Srigariyam, Pattam, Ullur, these are the places where the flyovers are required. So the preparatory work for land acquisitions and all that are already started. So that is a stage in which light metro is there. I am going to take you about the other system, which is not heard much, and but it's in operational in a couple of places. It's known as personal rapid transit system. It is like putting a nano car on elevated guideway, taking you around. It's a totally demand responsive system, driverless. It operates with battery, and wherever demand exists, it goes and picks up people. So it's a very exciting system. It's in operation in London Heathrow since 2011, and in Masdar city, UAE, this is in operation. Originated from West Virginia and USA, this system, 1975. So different technological changes have taken place. And these are the saline features highlighted by the proponents of this metro public personal rapid transit system. It's a driverless, fully automatic, and demand responsive. It takes you to point, like hiring a Uber, taking you from a place you board and to the destination. So no stop in between. So that sort of one. And it's elevated, traveling on a guided pathway. And it requires very little space. So it's just only the nano car space putting you on the elevated pathway. And the capacity, four seat capacity and 6 seat capacity pod cars are available. The average speed is 40 km, much higher than our normal buses. And it's very light in weight, and it can be operated with 3 seconds headway, and it can pass through in between buildings also, like metro in other European cities. And it's disabled friendly, and the charging, everything is done off stations. While traveling, it uses the battery. At stations and terminals, it charges. So this is how it looks. That is a ticketing vending machine at London Heathrow, and so you just go and press your destination, gets your card that will enable you to get into the vehicle, and it takes you from your destination straight away without any stop. So it does not stop in between. So that's how this is being planned. It's totally sensor based one, and suburban station would look like a very light structure. So the cost aspect wise, if you compare with the metro and all that, it's very cheaper. And there are several advantages. Of course, the promoter says that it's best suited for congested road network, which we have in Kerala. And what we can do initially, you can identify a corridor, and it can be extended to form a network, so that it can serve the whole city.
It requires a rail for operation.
Sorry?
It requires a rail for operation.
No, just only guided pathway. It's like a foot over bridge sort of thing. Just constructing at 4.5 or 5 meter a foot over bridge sort of thing. And this will go. It's a nano car sort of thing. I have a video also. If you want, I can show you video. Just 2-3 minutes video, and it's driverless. So automatically it manages the headway. Everything is controlled by this one. It's a magnetic operator, battery operator, and it's been proposed again recently in 2014. Project report was prepared and given to the government, and they say under PPP mode, so under Swiss challenge method, design, build, operate and transfer. So 40 to 50 years concession period is suggested, and the cost-wise it is about one third of the metro, or half, nearly 50% of the cost of metro system. And the only advantage of this is it requires lesser space on the land, because all its railway station, everything is on the elevated one, and you can have an escalator to lift the people from ground to the first floor or whatever level. So the merging with the existing transport system also is easier, and so this is the one present status of this. And these are the few statistics about PRT system proposed for Trivandrum. Same route, Techno Park to Karamana. That was Techno City. This is Techno Park, 18 kilometer with 16 stations. And they anticipate in 2015 the demand is about 1.6 lakh passengers. And the charge will be on par with auto rickshaw. So whatever we pay for auto rickshaw, same would be the charge, but it will have a assured seat, comfortable and AC sort of thing. So like Uber service. And these are the demand estimated for this system in different periods. Currently 2.5 lakh passengers are willing to travel. There was willingness to survey. NATPAC has done the initial study. Subsequently the promoter has made it as a project report. And by 2041, about 3.25 crore lakhs people are expected to travel by this transport mode. And this is a route from Techno Park to, again via same national way, via Kesavasaram, Pattam, Palayam to Karamana, and that is in the first phase. And subsequently it can be extended to airport on this side, and that side from Kaudia to Taikad, Vadadakadu, Tambanur. So the extension is based on the demand one can add on. This is the route indicated in the project report.
The city goes in the mode which is happening along the Techno Park, bypass. Why you are planning for this route?
No, that is where the demand exists currently.
No, demand means now the city is growing in a different fashion. And I am seeing all the things which you are proposing with the central axis. Given the job which is going to come down, and our emphasis on the knowledge economy, that is the corridor which is going to be developed. Now I think we should have a systems to really look into around that.
You are talking about the Kalivatam region.
Yeah. I'm going to that because that is the corridor which is going to be very important for the future development.
Yes. But these are all based on studies carried out a few years ago. So maybe any study which before implementing it, you have to one has to do the demand survey.
Correct, but
and accordingly it can be realigned. I understand because but only thing.
If the new bypass is commissioned, I think then the traffic studies might reflect a different figure.
Yes.
About,
Yeah.
So that is because the highway is for another cloud. This system is for the
commuters. Now,
Say, look, the character of Trivandrum city, character of Delhi, character of Calcutta, character of Bombay is very different. The way our settlement system and the democratic transition which we are in, now our main traffic volume is going to be along the new route. So the very jump, that is going to be the main thoroughfare and main.
So this is for the urban road.
urban mobility part of it.
That's okay, but say,
Your bypass will continue to carry inter-regional, intercity traffic, whereas for urban commutation, people have to, because this is, the Techno Park is going to have about more than 1 lakh jobs in the next 5 to 10 years time, with the Techno City and so many other developments. So they have definitely, and those people do not live there, they come from different places.
Anyway, it's okay.
Anyway, I think we will have a discussion, so let me finish it a couple of more slides and we can have a discussion. And this is the corridor again, Kozhikode Medical College to Mainchanda via Palayam and connecting Mavur Road bus stand and all that. And cost wise, I think 1,800 crores as against 3,000 crores projected for light metro. So another system which is improvised personal rapid transit system is an advanced version of PRT. This is promoted by a NASA Space Act company in California. It looks like this. So again, it uses the elevated space, no ground space. So people just board this 2%, 3%. So you just board it and it zooms. It can. They currently travel at 120 kilometers. They say that it can go up to 200 to 50 kilometer speed. So it's on a different level. If the capacity is more, then you can have parallel thing. Otherwise, through movement will be like this, and when it comes to terminal places where they come down, alight people, again they go like this. So this is still in concept stage, but I think it's one system which can be explored after piloting. I think we can think about it. So any disaster like flooding and all that does not affect the movement of mobility of the people. Cost-wise also it's cheaper than any other rapid transit systems. And so they say the one lane of SkyTran carries 3-lane capacity of expressway. So that is the capacity.
Does it use levitation or is it only
It's magnetic levitation. Yeah, magnetic levitation. Yeah, the speed is not a problem. Speed can be anything under 200 also. So this has been tried out, and NASA Space Act company is a very reliable company. They use rocket technology for horizontal movement. Huh?
This is necessary for the California, those parts which is so congested, you cannot do anything. Okay.
And again, the advantages are it requires very less land area. Only those places where you boarding and alighting take place. So LA problem is not there. So it's pollution free, no noise, and eco-friendly. The installation timing also very less. It's all just only fabricated sort of thing. You go and fix it with the bolt and nuts, and they say about 20 to 30 months for a city to install this. If the order is given, 30 months period that can be installed. And the cost of construction as per the 2012 prices, it's 60 crore per kilometer as against 150 to 200 for metro. And so the cost of SkyTran is 1/3 of the cost of construction of metro rail or high-speed train. High-speed is much higher. And so the advantages of these two, PRT as well as the SkyTram, are it's mainly to provide in cities, intercity connections. We can think of providing Trivandrum Cochin connectivity instead of having bus, rail and boat, these sort of things. It will take care of the entire demand. So and the projected carrying capacity is 28,000 passengers, which is much higher than any of this rapid transit system advocated for Kerala cities. And it's faster than metro, safer and energy efficient, and land requirement is completely avoided. So no impact on the environment. And this is the National Urban Transport Policy, which advocates that construction of MRTS or rapid transit system should get priority in the coming days. Even if the project is not viable financially, we should consider it in the interest of the environment. And so the government should provide the viability gap funding. So with that, I think that's my last slide. Thank you very much.